Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is the third video of the applet, and here what I'm going to do is some graphical examples. We can put up some buttons and rally groups and whatever. And we say to example extends applet, and this is a button of type button object. I say OK button of type text field, text box for a name field, and I got a check boxes, couple of check boxes, so I need a radio group so that we can select out of them only one. So we need a check group. Okay, checkbox group, okay, radio group, and I put up the couple of radio buttons there, and I got a checkbox option. That is the third checkbox, which may be not be independent of these two. Then in the initialize, I will set layout. I don't want any layout manager right now, because if you at all want to actually have the graphics on the applet, you need a layout manager. Right now I'm saying set layout manager to the null, and then initialize these buttons. Okay, OK button is new button, and like this is the caption of it, and name field is the text field, and new text field, and I'm gonna say what the size of the 100 is the size of the text. If I say 10 only, it contain only 10, and the radio is a new check box group, and then radio 1 and radio 2 is the new check boxes. Okay, and I'm gonna say what is the name of it. It's radio 1, and then I'm gonna say which group it is. Okay, and is it selected or not. It is false. And second one is again, but I'm saying here true, so this will be chuck it. Okay, and option is good. New checkbox, again the option, and false. Now I'm not mentioning any radio group, so it's gonna be independent. Okay, and then we will see specify the positions where they're gonna be on the applet. So I say okay, but the set bounds is at 2020 130. Then name field is at this location, and all of these guys have their locations there specified, and then we're gonna add them on the applet by using the add method. So add all these guys. Now give it a go. Now here we are. This is the button, this is the text field. Okay, you can just delete it, and I'm saying 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 0 for 10, and I try to add the more and so on. Okay, and this is the radio 1. Radio 2 was checked, and you can check other only these things, and we're gonna have the checkbox here, okay, which is independent, and the radio button and the checkbox. Okay, and their dimensions were here. So one is, if you see here, checkbox is also checkbox. Okay, radio 1, this is a checkbox of type option. I name it option. Okay, and then when I say here, you see here radio 2, an option is equal to new checkbox, same I did for the above. The only thing is I put up here no radio group options here, right? And I named it an option, and as you see here, it's named as an option. Okay. Now if you want a layout of these, I got a layout example. Here I got 1 2 3 4 5 buttons, and I in the init method I firstly set my layout to the new border layout, and then I initialize my buttons. I call the first one the center, go north, go west, at east, hot south. Call them that. Okay, and then you add up the guys, the buttons on the you can add up the buttons on the applet, all these 5, and tell them where you want to put them. Okay, I'm going to put button 1 as center, button 2 as north, button 3 west, so it will fill up the whole space with these buttons, and try to put center, west, east, south, and north. But there are more layout managers, especially we have the flow layout managers to see in the Android app development now quite often. Okay, it's very handy. This guy, which one? The flow layout. So which will keep adding components horizontally basically, until there is no more space, then it continues a row lower. So it fills up the row and then goes down and so on. I guess the output was on the top coming, so I will make it a downside, so it's viewable. So the buttons will be like this. This is how we perform some actions on the click of the button. Okay. So we need an action listener. So the action listener basically listens to the actions you perform. So for example, clicking of a button. So what I'm doing is you do the usual stuff. What you say here implements action listener. That's an interface which we have to implement. Now we got a couple of buttons. One's called OK button, one's called wrong button. Then got a text field, name field, and we got checkbox group because we got to have a radio group. So radio checkboxes got a radio 1, 2, and 3. And in the init, I'm saying I'm using some flow layout, so we know it will fill up the things horizontally, and it fills the first row, then go to the next. And I say OK button is equal to new button, okay, which we put up here. Button OK. Now we label them. So we got the text name field, a new text field, and I put something aside 35, and we got the radio group, we got new checkbox group, and then a couple of three actually radio groups, and we put up here red, blue, green, and we say radio group, radio group, radio group, and only this one is true, which is the blue is true. Other guys will be false. Now we add up all those guys on the form. The flow layout will take care of all these. And now we say OK button dot add action listener, and we say wrong button dot add action listener. So we are adding up the action listeners to these buttons. Okay, that we need to do. Now we will do the paint. Okay, we will say if radio 1 dot get state. That means if when the paint is done, if the radio button is selected, if the radio 1 is selected. Okay, when we paint, we see which radio button is selected, because if radio 1 is, so this will be first time, because I'm not clicking when the applet comes up in the first time, we're not clicking anything, so we have to say radio buttons will be selected some out of 3, so we know second one is selected. In fact, this one is selected. But if this one is selected, okay, then its get state will come true, so this will be true. And so then I will say 0 set color, so the forecolor of the applet will be the red. If the second is selected, then it will be blue, and third is selected, it will be green, because else will be, if these are not selected, then definitely the third one is selected. Okay, and we'll say 0 raw string also, we'll draw a string there, and whatever in the text field we have, that we'll put up. We'll see what is in the name field or get text, and at this position we will draw that text. Okay, now if the button is clicked, the action performed will be basically called automatically. Okay, and the button, which button is selected, will be in this EVT. Okay, so we say if EVT.get source, if that button which was clicked is OK button, then I call the repaint. I'll call this paint again. So I'll say repaint means call this paint again. So it will execute this guy again. So in fact, what it does is it will see which button is selected according to the color, and whatever the text field is, that will be drawn. But if it is the wrong button, then I do something. I firstly change the label of the wrong button to the not here, and also change the text field. I say name for the set text, that was the wrong button, and then I call the repaint. Now repaint is the paint will be called again, but this time name field will have in it what that was the wrong button, and the label of the second button will also change. For instance, so if I give it a go, so firstly flow layout has arranged these guys. Okay, and this is my text box here. This is the, I put the buttons here for the text boxes, then check boxes, and so on. I should put the lesser size, that's a goes down side, right? So flow layout is also changing it. If you could see, if I'm making it bigger or smaller, the flow layout is exactly doing it. So that's the flow layout is a good one. Now if I call the actions, whatever is here, so I say for example Junaid teaches something, and I say action, and you can see blue is checked, so it's a blue. So the first time it has painted stuff here, and it's saying type here something, it was type here something, so it's saying that thing. I say action, it puts up whatever is in the field in here. If I change the red, okay, right now nothing happens because paint has already been called. Now if you want to say take effect this red, I have to call the repaint, so that is done with action again. Now it is changing red. If I change the green and I say action, it changes to the green. Now if I put up the do not click, it again calls the repaint, but that is, and it puts up here, this was not wrong button here, I say not here, right? And I say blue, it nothing happens, say not here, it is doing this thing. So not here is again it is the same button, but only the caption is changed. Okay, it's the wrong button. Okay, now I think after the click you should get the label back to the wrong button. Okay, that's your home task. There are many more things which you can do. Mouse, there are mouse events, mouse motions, and thousands of things we can do in the applet, but our service doesn't allow us to do all those things. So I'm gonna stop here in these graphical stuff, and you will do it rest of your own. And last thing I'm gonna show is how to parse parameters to the your what your applet. Okay, that will be doing in the next video.